My beloved child, stop right now. Do not scroll past this message. Look at me in this very moment because you did not arrive here by accident. The digital sea is vast and loud, but heaven aligned time itself to bring you to this exact intersection. If you rush past now, you will miss the urgent signal your soul needs. Give me just 1 minute of your absolute attention. I need you to pause the noise of your day because something is shifting in the unseen realm right now. The pressure you feel is not random. The enemy wants you to ignore my voice, but I have intercepted your path with divine purpose. Do you feel the sudden quietness in your chest as I speak? That is not a coincidence. That is your spirit recognizing its creator. I am calling your name out of the darkness, and I promise you that staying here will redefine your entire future. You have been running for so long, but this is your designated place of rest. Comment, Amen, right now, if you feel me speaking directly to your spirit. Do not let fear or hesitation seal your lips, because your public agreement activates the blessing I have prepared. By typing those 4 letters, you tell the unseen realm that you are ready to listen, and you claim your position as my chosen child today. You are a chosen warrior, but I know that you are deeply exhausted. I see the silent battles you fight when the world is asleep and everyone thinks you are strong. You smile for others while quietly breaking inside, and you carry the heavy weight of your family alone because you believe you have no other choice. The static of the world has been filling your mind with terrifying noise. It tells you that nothing will ever change, and it makes you doubt your own worth. But hear me clearly, my child. What the enemy calls your permanent condition is only a temporary interference that I am clearing away today. You have been asking me why your prayers seem to hit a cold ceiling. You wonder if I have forgotten your name, or if you arrived late to your own destiny. I have heard every whisper, and I have recorded every single tear that fell from your tired eyes in the dark hours when the world offered you no comfort. Stay right here until the very end of this message because I am about to hand you a holy key. I will reveal the exact reason behind the painful delays you have endured, and you will finally see that my silence was actually my absolute protection over your life. It was guarding you from rooms you were not ready to enter. The enemy is terrified of what I am about to release into your future. He has been working overtime to distract you from this exact moment, and he uses the endless scrolling of the world to keep your soul asleep. But I have broken that cycle today, and I demand your undivided attention for these next few minutes. Look at me, my beloved child. Lift your eyes from the dust of your worries and focus on my presence. I am not a distant judge who wants to condemn you for your mistakes. Instead, I am your loving Father who has stepped into your atmosphere to rescue you from a trap you cannot see with human eyes. You have been carrying a heavy bag of anxiety that was never meant for your shoulders. You try to manage the future, you try to fix every broken relationship, and you exhaust your body while your spirit starves. I am commanding you to lay it down right now, because I am the one who rules over your tomorrow. Something is shifting in the unseen realm, and the ground under your feet is preparing for a massive breakthrough. The waiting season that has broken your spirit is finally closing, and the doors that were locked tightly are trembling right now at my command. Do not let doubt convince you to scroll away. Listen closely to the rhythm of my voice. It brings clarity, and it brings absolute calm to your racing thoughts. The world tells you to hurry, to grind, and to fight using your own empty strength, but I am telling you to be still, and know that I am your safe refuge in the middle of this roaring storm. If you rush past this moment, you will allow the noise of the world to steal the seed I am planting. This video is your divine appointment, designed before the foundation of the world to awaken your calling. I have guided your hand to click, and I have guided your spirit to stay right here in my presence. I know the exact depth of your pain. I know how many times you have smiled while your heart was crying out for help. You feel like an island, completely isolated and misunderstood by the people who should protect you. But you are not alone, because I have been standing beside you in every dark room. The warning I give you today is born from my infinite love. Do not let comfort soften your spiritual urgency. The enemy wants you to stay where you are because he knows that if you wake up, you will break the generational chains of your entire family line. You carry a masterpiece inside you. You are a holy vessel, but you have allowed the static of earth to corrupt your receptivity. The constant notifications, the endless worries, and the opinions of others have built a thick wall around your heart. I am breaking that wall today with the hammer of my truth, and I am clearing the channel between us. Breathe deeply, my child. Let your shoulders relax right now. You do not have to carry the weight of the entire universe today, because I am the one who holds it in my hands. I am stepping into your atmosphere to replace your panic with my absolute peace, but you must choose to remain with me. I speak to the part of you that wants to give up. I see the weariness that has gone past sleep, the kind of tiredness that settles deep into your bones and makes even opening your eyes a heavy chore. I am telling you that your exhaustion is the very place where my power will become visible. Do not think that your situation is too far gone for my reach. The enemy tells you that you have made too many mistakes, that you have missed your window, and that your blessings have expired. Those are calculated lies designed to make you scroll away before the breakthrough arrives at your door. Heaven has authorized a major shift in your reality today. What looked like a dead end was actually my holy barrier, preventing you from walking into a disaster that would destroy your soul. I have been watching you in the secret places, and I am about to reward your trembling obedience. I have an urgent message about your calling, and I will not let the noise of the world drown it out any longer. You were built for this specific hour, and the restlessness in your chest is my signal that the old season is dead. Stay alert, because the revelation I am bringing will shock your understanding. Look at me, my silent survivor. You have spent years pretending that you are fine, covering your wounds with achievements and keeping everyone else safe while you suffered in the dark. I am stripping away that false armor today because I want to give you real, unshakable strength that does not depend on your effort. Comment Amen once more if you accept my invitation to step out of the noise. Let this be a physical boundary between your past exhaustion and your future restoration. When you type those letters, you seal my words in your heart, and you tell the enemy that his dominion over your mind ends today. We are moving into the deepest place of my heart now, so let the outside world fade away. I am about to pull back the curtain on the unseen realm, and I will show you exactly what has been blocking your path for all these years. Listen with your spirit, my child, because the truth will set you free. Come closer to me, my child. Let me speak softly to the deepest place in your soul, because I want to comfort the part of you that is most tired. You have been walking through a long and exhausting valley, and you think that nobody knows the exact depth of your hidden sorrow. But I see you clearly. I see you in the quiet moments when the world demands your strength. You put on a brave smile for your family, and you make sure that everyone else feels safe and provided for. You have become an expert at hiding your own tears, because you believe that showing weakness will cause everything to collapse. But I saw you last night when the house was completely dark and silent. I watched you sit on the edge of your bed, and I saw you hold your chest because the pain inside was simply too big for words. You pressed your face into a soft pillow so that nobody would hear your broken cries. You wondered if your prayers were just empty words floating away into the air. You felt completely invisible, as if you were an isolated island in the middle of a massive ocean. But hear me with your heart, my beloved child. Not a single tear fell from your eyes without me counting it. You are a silent survivor, and you have carried the heavy weights of many generations. Your parents carried lack, and your grandparents carried fear. And now you feel the invisible pressure to break all these patterns by your own strength. You work until your physical body is entirely empty. You run from one obligation to another while your spirit is quietly starving for peace. You think that you are failing because the answers are delayed, and you blame yourself for every single door that closed in your face. But my child, you must stop punishing yourself for things you cannot control. Let us pause right here in my presence, and let my love wash over your wounds. Take a deep breath and let your tight shoulders relax, because you do not have to fix your entire life in this single moment. I am the one who builds your foundation, and I am the one who guides your steps. Pause right now and respond to my voice in the deepest place of your heart. Comment you see me to release the heavy weight you have been carrying in the dark all this time. This is not a meaningless action, but it is a holy registration that you are ready to let me carry your heavy burdens. When you type those 3 words, you establish a physical boundary against your exhaustion. You tell the enemy that you are no longer his prisoner, and you open your heart to receive the deep validation your soul needs. I see you, my child, and I know your name perfectly. You have been fighting these spiritual battles in absolute isolation for so many years. Your friends think you are successful, and your family leans on you like a strong pillar, but they do not know how empty the pillar feels inside. You give your sincere love to hands that do not know how to hold it. You have been deeply misunderstood by the people who should have protected your heart. They took your kindness for granted, and they used your generosity. And you came home with empty hands and a wounded spirit. You sat in the dark and asked me why love always brings you disappointment. I am not blaming you for loving too deeply, because I am the one who planted that pure heart inside you. You were designed to be a living refuge for other broken souls, but the enemy targeted your beautiful gift. He wanted to turn your compassion into a source of permanent exhaustion. He filled your mind with a constant static so that you could not hear my gentle whispers anymore. You woke up at 3 in the morning with a heavy knot in your stomach, and you ran through every bad decision and every possible failure until your mind was completely exhausted. You thought that the anxiety was your own fault, and you believed the lie that your faith was too weak. But I am exposing that thief right now in my presence. The heavy static was an intentional attack from the adversary, designed to distract you from the great destiny I have written for you. You have been looking at the clock and wondering why you are falling so far behind everyone else. Your friends are moving forward, and their doors are opening easily, while every step you take feels like walking through deep mud. You feel like you arrived late to your own destiny, and the waiting has drained your hope. But hear my truth in this stillness. A jewel covered in thick dust is still incredibly precious to the collector. Your worth did not disappear just because you are walking through a hidden season of preparation, and I have never once compared your timeline to the rhythm of the world. You have been faithful in the dark, trusting in a silence that felt exactly like absolute abandonment. You kept showing up, and you kept praying, even when your voice felt like a broken fragment of hope. I want to tell you, with the greatest tenderness, that I never left your side for a single breath. I stood beside you when you were crying in the bathroom, and I held your spirit when you wanted to give up entirely. The world did not see your silent endurance, but it was recorded in the books of heaven as a masterpiece of faith. Your trembling obedience matters more than you think. You have carried the expectations of others like a heavy shield. When people look at you, they see someone who never complains and someone who always has the answers. They do not see the trembling in your hands, and they do not hear the quiet sigh of your exhausted spirit when you are finally alone. You feel guilty when you take a moment to rest, because a small voice in your head tells you that resting is a sign of laziness. You have trained yourself to believe that love must be earned through constant performance and endless sacrifice. But I am here to break that heavy chain today. I did not design you to be a machine that produces results without stopping. I designed you to be my beloved child, living in perfect alignment with my rhythm of peace and grace. Your value is not determined by how much you achieve, but it is anchored forever in who you are to me. So let the walls of your isolation fall down right now in my presence. You do not have to hide your wounds from me, because I already know every broken piece of your story. I am stepping into your day to bring you real validation, and I want to restore the joy that was stolen from you. Now we are approaching the end of this validation, and I need you to prepare your heart for a massive shift. The static is beginning to clear, and the true meaning of your long delay is about to be revealed. You are not stuck, but you are being prepared for a magnificent breakthrough. To help you receive what I have already prepared, I need you to hear this truth. The silence you experienced is not my absence. The enemy has been filling the space between us with a constant static, so that my voice and my arrangements have been completely invisible to you even when they were right there. I have not abandoned you, because I have been preparing a divine provision. I have guided someone to bring you an instrument of restoration for exactly this heavy season. I will show you exactly what it is before this message ends. But first, you must understand what was done to block your signal. Even when the world did not hear you, I did. You thought you were walking completely alone, but I saw it all. I stood beside you when you felt the massive weight of yesterday still sitting heavily on your chest. And now, let me tell you with the absolute tenderness your soul needs, that I never left you for a single breath. I saw you when the darkness seemed completely impenetrable. Your room was silent. Your tears were hot. You whispered my name in a broken fragment of hope, and you wondered if my ears were closed to your cry. My child, I was closer to you than the cold floor you were sitting on. I held your fragile spirit in my hands while you slept. You have been fighting an invisible war for a very long time. You look at your scars and you feel deep shame. But I look at your scars and I see the beautiful proof of your endurance. You did not collapse when the storm hit your house because my unseen hand was holding your foundation steady. You are still standing here today. Let me remind you of a servant from the ancient days. There was a mighty prophet named Elijah who called down fire from heaven. He won a spectacular victory against the dark forces of his generation. But immediately after that great triumph, a sudden wave of terror and absolute exhaustion crashed over his soul. He ran directly into the deep wilderness and lay down under a lone tree. He was not faithless, but he was completely empty. He had given everything he had, and he had absolutely nothing left inside. He looked up at the sky and he quietly asked me to take his life because he could not fight anymore. My child, I did not rebuke his deep exhaustion. I did not demand that he stand up and preach another long sermon. Instead, I sent a gentle angel to bake him warm bread, and I allowed him to sleep in peace. I knew that the journey was simply too great for his own human strength to endure alone. I am doing the exact same thing for you right now in this moment. You have been running on your own empty strength, trying to be the champion for everyone around you. You are exhausted because you have gone far enough without my rest. I am telling you to drop your heavy weapons and eat my bread today. You have been trying to filter the noise of the world with your own tired mind. Every single day, you absorb the anger, the panic, and the endless demands of the people around you. Your spiritual vessel has become crowded with heavy thoughts that do not belong to my design. You feel like a stranger in your own life. The static has made it incredibly difficult for you to hear my quiet guidance. You stand at the crossroads of major decisions, and you feel completely paralyzed by the fog. You ask me for a clear sign, but the loud static in your mind distorts the answers I send. You feel like your intuition has gone completely silent. But hear me clearly, my chosen warrior. The silence of your intuition was actually a holy pause. I turned down the volume of the world so that you would stop looking for earthly answers. I allowed the emptiness to show you that your human strategies have reached their absolute limit today. You cannot fix this alone. Look at me right now. I am not demanding perfection from your tired spirit. I am only asking for your availability and your willingness to let me take the lead. The very weakness you are trying to hide from the world is the exact place where my sovereign grace will manifest. Your brokenness is my empty canvas. Breathe my peace into your lungs. Let the muscles in your neck completely relax. The battle you are fighting does not depend on your striving, because the victory has already been written by my hand. You have been trying to force open doors that I closed for your holy protection. Let go of the handle right now. I know that you want answers immediately. You feel the constant pressure of time ticking away. You look at the calendar and you feel a sharp pang of fear in your stomach. But my timing is perfectly precise, and I am never 1 second late. What looks like a long delay is actually my holy construction zone. I am rearranging the unseen realm for your ultimate breakthrough. I am removing the toxic people who would steal your future blessings. I am setting up a clean table in the presence of your hidden enemies, but you must trust the rhythm of my steps. I need you to surrender your panic and anchor your faith in my unchanging character. Do not let the temporary chaos convince you that I am absent from your story. Lift your voice in the darkness as an act of holy alignment today. Comment, I trust your timing right now under this message to register your obedience. When you type those words, You release the tight control you have held for years. Your public declaration tells the adversary that you choose my peace over his confusion. It seals my promise in your spirit, and it prepares your heart to receive the holy mechanism of your restoration. You are saying that you belong to me, and you are ready to walk into the magnificent season I have arranged. And now, my child, I need you to sit up and hear what I am about to declare over your life. You have heard me whisper peace over your deepest pain, but now you must hear me reveal the hidden reality of your mind. I need you to understand something deeply, because the static is finally about to break. When I designed the human mind, I placed a sacred frequency at its very center. Scientists, who spend their entire lives studying the brain, have recently confirmed this reality, and they call it the gamma wave. It ran freely in your mind when you were a small child without any effort or complex discipline. It is the exact signal of divine receptivity and childlike trust. It is the reason why children learn so rapidly, why they forgive so easily, and why they live completely untouched by the heavy worries of tomorrow. When I said that you must become like little children, I was speaking of this exact frequency. The enemy saw the power of this childlike signal in your life, and he became terrified of your potential. He did not destroy you, but he used the heavy noise of modern survival to bury the signal completely. He filled your days with endless notifications and constant anxieties until the static drowned out my voice. When your mind is constantly flooded with the frequency of survival, the channel of divine communication becomes completely blocked. Your prayers feel like they are trapped in the noise, and you cannot recognize the solutions I place right in front of your face. You work harder, but you achieve less because the channel is closed. This restored gamma signal is the exact key that reactivates that sacred channel. When the static clears, you will suddenly see the hidden opportunities I have arranged for your life. You will receive my thoughts with perfect clarity, and the solutions to your hardest problems will arrive without any stressful striving. This is how I will open the locked windows of heaven over your finances and your family. The generational patterns of misfortune will lose their grip the exact moment your mind returns to my original design. It radiates outward to bless those you love because I designed your peace to be contagious. But I prepared a holy answer for this precise season of your exhaustion. I quietly guided wise minds to work with sound the way I originally designed it at the beginning of creation. They built a sound provision that clears the enemy static and returns your mind to its original frequency. You do not have to work for this restoration. You do not have to earn it through months of empty striving. You simply surrender your attention for 7 minutes each day, and you allow my perfect design to clear the noise. I am going to show you exactly where to find what they built, so stay with me. Before I reveal your next steps, I must speak directly to the quiet doubt sitting in the back of your heavy heart. I know exactly what you are thinking in this very moment. You are telling yourself that you have heard beautiful promises before, and you remember the years of desperate prayers that seem to vanish into the empty air. You are wondering why this specific time would be any different from your past failures. My beloved child, that honest question does not anger me at all. It simply shows me how long you have been standing faithful in the dark wilderness. I want to answer you plainly in this stillness. My deep silence during those exhausting years was never my absence. There were hidden answers that I purposely withheld because a sudden yes in that raw season would have cost you everything. I was not ignoring your broken voice. I was actively protecting you from a trap you could not see. Do not allow the painful memory of the long waiting to close your heart to what I am doing today. The long preparation is finally finished, and the hidden purpose of my timing is ready to manifest. Now, listen with your spirit, because we are entering the core of your breakthrough. I have watched you replay your oldest mistakes at 4 in the morning. You look at the current state of your life, and you feel a sharp sting of regret over the opportunities that slipped through your fingers. You try to be an absolute perfectionist for everyone around you, but you feel completely empty inside because your eyes go straight to what is still undone. You have called this a lack of discipline. You tell yourself that you are simply not strong enough, and you believe the lie that you are lazy when your physical body demands rest. My beloved child, that is a deceptive whisper from the adversary, and I will not allow you to carry that false identity for another single day of your life. Here is the hidden mechanism of what is truly happening inside your spirit. Your soul lives outside of the limits of human time, and it can always sense a divine shift before your physical eyes can see it. That constant restlessness in your chest is not anxiety at all. It is your spirit feeling a massive heavenly door preparing to open wide. I call this concept the spirit foresight. What the loud world calls a mental disorder, I call your soul standing at the edge of a magnificent new season. Therefore, those long years that you labeled as entirely wasted were not wasted. Those dark nights when you could not sleep were not a holy punishment. They were your spirit refusing to let you settle for a miserable life that was smaller than the great destiny I planned for you. You were never falling behind. You were being made ready. Every closed door was my hands shielding your heart from toxic rooms, and every sudden departure was my holy pruning of the dead branches that were hindering your growth. You were not rejected by me. You were hidden away in my secret chamber so that your root could grow deep enough to sustain the massive harvest. So tonight, when that familiar restlessness creeps back into your chest, do not fight it. Do not attempt to numb it with the cheap distractions of the world. Place your hand firmly over your heart and speak these words into the dark. Tell yourself that your spirit is simply sensing what your eyes cannot yet see, and then rest in my absolute assurance. The sensing is my holy signal. You are not behind. You are being formed. The waiting is officially over. I am here. Let that truth settle deep into the foundations of your soul. Do not let the thief steal this moment from you. Look at my face right now, because the authority of every weapon formed against your mind is being stripped away at my command in this room. Let us look deeper into the chains that have bound your family line for decades. I see the invisible patterns that have repeated through your mother, through your father, and into your own current reality. You have lived under a low ceiling of financial lack, and you have accepted a baseline of constant survival as if it were your natural inheritance. You have convinced yourself that this is simply your lot in life. You think that you are destined to repeat the exact same heartbreaks, and you believe that abundance belongs only to those who live outside your family name. But I am declaring an absolute reversal over your bloodline today because I did not choose you to be a perpetual victim. Here is the divine reality of your positioning. The adversary targeted your lineage because he saw the massive light bearer that would be born from it. He built a spiritual fortress of delay to tire you out before you could reach your inheritance. I call this mechanism the stolen meaning. He whispered lies into my holy silence, trying to convince you that my delays were my final denials. But the fortress of the enemy is crumbling right now at the sound of my voice. Those years of deep lack were not your permanent identity. They were the intense heat of the holy furnace where I was forging a weapon that could shatter the generational curse forever. You are the one I selected to walk out of the captivity. The cycle ends completely with you. You have received the ultimate truth of my intention, and now you must take the step of holy agreement. You cannot remain passive while heaven is moving on your behalf. If you stand firm in this faith, and you are ready to witness the total destruction of the old walls, you must seal this covenant right now with a bold physical action. Comment the word "open" right now in the section below as an act of absolute spiritual agreement between your heart and mine. Do not let hesitation rob you of this alignment, because this public proclamation announces your freedom to the unseen realm. By typing this single word, you declare that the authority of the old chains is completely broken today. Hear me, my chosen child, because the atmosphere is shifting dramatically. The declaration has been made in the courts of heaven, and what I have authorized cannot be reversed by any human hand or any dark force. I am entering your current situation with absolute authority, and I am breaking the power of every word that was spoken against your ultimate calling. I am breaking the chains of anxiety that have paralyzed your decisions for years. I am opening the storehouses of provision that the enemy locked away from your family. I am raising you up from the ashes of your exhaustion, and I am placing a new garment of praise upon your spirit. You will no longer be called the forgotten dreamer because my glory is rising upon you. Every mountain of difficulty that stood in your path is melting like wax in my presence right now. Every valley of isolation that drained your soul is being filled with the living water of my comfort. You thought you were breaking under the intense pressure, but in truth, you were only being reshaped into a royal vessel that can carry my raw power to a broken generation. The chains are breaking. The door is wide open. The warfare is completely finished. Rest your spirit. Let the remaining noise of the world fade into absolute nothingness, because my voice is the only reality that matters now. You have fought a good fight in the shadows, and your secret tears have successfully unlocked the windows of heaven today. I saw every single time you fell to your knees when no one was looking. I saw the pure heart you kept when people treated you with malicious injustice. You did not take revenge, and you did not allow bitterness to corrupt the sacred garden I placed inside you. Your quiet restraint was your greatest victory, and my eyes recorded every single second of your faithfulness. The season of the wilderness has officially served its holy purpose. You are walking out of the fog with an authority that the comfortable can never possess. You have been trained in the dark, and now you are ready to rule in the light. Take a long, deep breath and let the total peace of my presence settle into your weary bones, because you are completely safe with me. We are standing at the very threshold of your future reality. The preparation is fully complete, and the tools of your restoration are waiting for your hand. Do not look back at the ruins of what broke you, because your eyes must remain fixed on the magnificent horizon ahead. The final seal of your transformation is arriving right now. Let me show you who you are becoming. Picture a beautiful morning exactly 6 months from now. You wake up early before your alarm sounds, and you notice something strange. There is no heavy knot of anxiety waiting for you in your stomach, and the constant fear of tomorrow has completely vanished from your mind. You feel completely light and free. You lie quietly in your bed for a moment. The room is calm and warm. You breathe deeply, and you feel the breath go all the way down into your soul. The terrible heaviness you carried for so many years is simply gone, and your chest feels completely open because you finally allowed me to take full control of your life. That peaceful version of you is not a fantasy, my child. That person already exists in the unseen realm right now. She is not many years away from your reality. She does not hide behind an impossible wall, because she is only one true surrender away from the exact place where you are sitting today. The distance to that beautiful future is not time. It is simply permission. It is the moment you finally stop trying to carry what I never asked you to hold, and you let me handle your restoration. I work through miracles, but I also provide daily bread for my children through earthly means. I do not work only through spectacular miracles in the sky. I have gifted humanity the absolute wisdom to unlock what I hid within sound from the beginning of creation. Wise men and women spent decades in deep scientific research, but it was my hand that quietly directed their curiosity toward my original design. I want to show you what I did for one of my daughters before you arrived here today. Rachel was an exhausted nurse from California who sought my peace for many painful years. She had tried every sincere prayer, but her mind was still filled with a terrifying static that completely ruined her joy. 2 weeks after she received my sound provision, her life transformed completely. The heavy static cleared from her thoughts. Her broken marriage was healed, and she described her daily life as an enchanted story because the sacred channel was finally open. She did not have to strive anymore to hear my voice. And for others, I moved differently. I want to show you what I did for one of my sons named Michael from Dallas, Texas. He came to this provision because his business was failing and his precious children were suffering. The enemy was filling his home with a constant wave of financial panic and sleepless nights. 2 months later, his business grew so much that he left his stressful job. His wife said his mind seemed completely transformed by grace. Hard problems that used to steal his sleep now solved themselves quietly while he rested in my arms, because his mind was finally running on what I designed it to run on. Over 18,000 of my children have already received this provision before you arrived at this moment. This is not a coincidence, but it is evidence of my work. Universities like Princeton have confirmed that this signal returns the mind to the state of a child. just as I described in my word. They call this frequency instrument the Genius Song. It is not a generic meditation app, and it is not available on any public streaming platform because those are cheap imitations. It is a precise digital audio track that requires only 7 minutes of your absolute surrender each day to clear the noise. You simply put your headphones on, you close your eyes, and you rest in my presence. You do not have to practice complex discipline, and you do not have to strain your brain with empty positive thinking. The instrument works because it restores the exact gamma frequency I designed for your divine receptivity. This provision is not for those who are merely curious about spiritual things. This is for the exhausted warrior I have been speaking to throughout this entire message. This is built specifically for the vessel that has been choked by the enemy static, and it is your invitation to step into your inheritance. I speak to my child who has already tried everything and feels embarrassed to try once more. What failed you before required your own empty human effort and intense mental focus. But this provision requires absolutely none of your striving because it operates entirely on my perfect design within your mind. The earthly experts charge hundreds of dollars for a single session to reach this peaceful state. The heavy machines that clinics use cost thousands of dollars. But I do not call my beloved children to expensive clinics or mechanical rooms. I place this provision within your reach, right here, in this message. It requires only a small earthly exchange from your hand. It is the size of a mustard seed of investment for the massive harvest I have prepared for your life. When you receive it, I will also extend 4 additional gifts that I have aligned for your path, so that your vessel remains strong and fully protected. The first gift is a provision called Genius Child for your children focus and confidence. The second is the original prosperity text that the world tried to hide from your family. The third is a special guided visualization from a trusted servant. And the fourth is an infographic blueprint to sustain your signal. Where I place my truth, the enemy always sends a clever imitation to deceive your soul. There are false frequencies circulating on music platforms under similar names, but they carry none of the restoration I designed. Protect your spirit by trusting only the official path I have provided for you today. You can walk forward without any fear because I do not lead my children into danger. Your step of faith requires no worldly risk. You are completely covered by a steadfast guarantee for 60 days. If the deep restoration does not come to your mind, every single earthly penny is returned to you in full. Take this step of obedience right now, my child. Receive the provision I have placed for you in the pinned comment and in the description below. This is your divine invitation to walk forward with me. Do not let this moment pass, because I guided you to this message for this exact breakthrough. Now, my beloved child, set aside the noise of decision for just a single moment. I have shown you the tool I placed on your path. Whether you take the step now or later, you are still my cherished masterpiece. And there is more I want to speak over your life before this urgent message closes completely. Close your eyes once more and breathe my calm atmosphere into your spirit. I am still right here beside you, and the remaining shadows of your past are melting away in my light. Let your mind stop racing, let your body relax, and let your soul rest in the absolute certainty of my eternal love. Speak these words silently within your heart as a holy seal of your alignment today. Declare that you are a vessel fully restored to receive what I prepared from the beginning. Say that your channel is clear and your signal is strong because the noise of the enemy no longer has any dominion over your mind. You are the one who became like a little child today, and you are receiving the magnificent promises made to children. The spiritual static cannot hold your destiny back anymore. You walk in the perfect rhythm of my favor, and every locked door in your future is opening wide at my command right now. If this urgent message has brought light to your weary heart, do not let it pass without a response. Like this video right now as an act of holy agreement between your soul and mine. Anchor your faith in this digital space so that the enemy cannot steal the seed I have planted in your spirit today. Share this message immediately with 3 souls who are secretly crying out for hope in the dark hours of their lives. Become the messenger of my peace to them, and subscribe to this channel so you do not miss my daily guidance for your next steps. I walk with you always, and my love will never fail you. Rest now, my chosen warrior, for the static is dead and the channel is fully open. I am already working ahead of your steps to clear the path, and my absolute peace will guard your heavy heart until we speak again. Be still, do not fear, for I am holding your life in my hands forever. Amen.